Hey guys, welcome back to our Lib Talk, and today I'm going to be reviewing one of Netflix's latest mini-series called The Queen's Gambit. Given the lack of new movie releases, I've had to switch over to TV series, but I think Queen's Gambit is worth it, and you'll find out why very soon. But before I start with the review, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoy it, and please do consider subscribing if, again, you enjoy the content I release. It would be of great help and support to my channel. Let's get right into the review. So The Queen's Gambit is a drama miniseries based on Walter Tevis's 1983 novel of the same name. It stars Anya Taylor-Joy and Bill Camp and was created by Scott Frank and Allan Scott. It follows the life of orphan Beth Harmon, who from a very early age discovers that, she has this amazing talent for chess. As she strives to become the best player in the world, the best chess player in the world, she faces many problems, both personal and professional. And she faces, for example, issues like alcoholism. She faces issues like drug abuse. It's set in the 1950s and 1960s and traverses the young chess player's rise from bottom to the very peak of chess players. Let me come right out and say it. The Queen's Gambit is one of the best, if not, I think, the best TV I've seen this year so far. The overall quality that we have here in this series is pretty much absolutely tremendous. It just oozes quality and style. It reminds me sort of The Crown, and the absolute production value, the cinematography, the costumes, the music, everything is of a very, very high level. And let's get into the details on this series. So, the series is a mini-series that spans 7 episodes. It is a very tight-knit story because of this, because you don't have to worry about season 2. There's no need to build up new plot lines and new characters to introduce in season 2. It's basically one story told very, very well. And this is one of the main positives for The Queen's Gambit. We start off with Beth Harmon in an orphanage, and we see her make friends, we see her develop new relationships, we see her meet Mr. Scheibel, who starts to teach her chess. But we also see the negative side of Beth Harmon's life, which is her addiction to, at a very young age, tranquilizers. She starts to get addicted to drugs. She has a very addictive character, and it was still legal apparently back then to give tranquilizers to kids, and she became addicted to them as she used them to help her sort of concentrate and imagine the chessboard as she was in bed. Now, the first episode was being very good at introducing us to Beth Harmon. We don't actually get to see Anya, but it was still very, very good. It helps develop Beth's character, and we get to know a lot about her. And eventually, she starts taking her first steps as a chess prodigy and starts playing players who are much older than her, much more experienced than her, but she amazes everyone with her impressive talent. She eventually is adopted by Alma Wheatley and her husband, and it is from here that she really starts to notice that, listen, this can become a career. This is not just some hobby, because obviously Beth Harmon notices she needs money, especially because Alma Wheatley was abandoned by her husband. So that's an interesting dynamic, and as Beth Harmon starts to make more and more money, Alma Wheatley serves as sort of her agent in a certain sense. And anyways, this is the start of her very tough road to reaching the top flight of chess players. The writing is excellent, and I have to be honest, apart from a rather predictable ending, the overall quality of the writing is really very good. There are twists and turns throughout. Some you won't expect, some you might expect a little, but overall, the quality of the writing, the dialogue is all top-notch quality. Beth's ups and downs are real, they feel organic, and they never feel forced. Her downward spirals do not feel like a forced problem for the character of Beth, but feel real, feel something that has been developed from pretty much the first episode, and we could see it coming, but the way it happens is excellent. Unfortunately, what was a plus at the start, these different twists and turns which you do not expect, become rather predictable, especially at the end of this series. The last episode, as I said in the very beginning, is very, very predictable, and but overall the quality still remains good. It's just not as good as it was in the beginning. It starts to sort of hit certain tropes of those rags to riches stories. It's like you need to have certain tropes in a rags to riches story, and this series finds them at the very last episode. Anya Taylor-Joy's performance is excellent, is brilliant. I had first watched her actually in a movie, The Witch, which was criminally underrated, by the way. And I noticed that this was a massive talent at once. Whoever casted her as Beth is a genius. Let me come out and say that. She has to show a lot of emotion, but it has to be very nuanced and sort of hidden in a way a chess player would show emotions. And her eyes are extremely emotive. Very, very good performance physically as well. Her body language is very, very good. She needs to express emotions, but she can't do it overtly. It can't be obvious. She has to hide her emotions while still giving us a glance at what she's thinking about. And the way she does it, the subtlety, the nuanced takes are brilliant by Anya. All excellently done. I also enjoyed her performance during her downward spiral, which was again very interesting to watch and did not feel forced at all. It is very nuanced, a very nuanced take on someone who is suffering from addiction to drugs and alcohol. And the rest of the cast also do a very admirable job. No one really stands up to her level, but that's not to say there are bad performances. It's just that Anya is just above and beyond everyone else because she's excellent. I do have to say, however, I did like performances by Isla Johnston, who was the younger Beth, was also very good in the first episode and halfway through the second episode. And I also have to say that Beth's adoptive mother, Marielle Heller, was also very good. Her relationship with her adopted daughter was very fun to watch, very interesting, and a very good part of this series. The cinematography is another bright spot for this series. Steven Meisler successfully captures the emotions showcased by the different actors in the chess scenes very, very well. Even if you're not a big fan of chess, even if you don't really understand the game, you will still enjoy the scenes very much because the cinematographer does such a great job. But also the way he captures the actors' body language and the for sort of facial expressions is so well done, and it will show you who's winning and who's losing, even if you have no idea what's going on the board. And the tension that is developed throughout these different chess scenes were incredible. I was on the edge of my seat during these scenes, urging Beth on, hoping that she would make the right move. And deep down, let's be honest, this is a sports biography, an invented sports biography, a fictionalized sports biography. But deep down in its heart, this is a sports biography. The rest of the cinematography throughout the scenes, which are not the chess scenes, are also very good. I have to say that the scenes in Russia were spectacular. There were some very, very good scenes there. And I especially loved the cinematography and scenery in that episode. But throughout, it effectively portrays the setting of the 50s and 60s very well. And props to the cinematography in this series. Now, the chess in itself as chess. I am no expert, but following what experts have said, it seems that the games were extremely realistic and very well presented. They are definitely enjoyable to watch, mind you, that's very important, of course, and wonderfully engrossing. It is a combination not just of good acting and good cinematography, but also the excellent soundtrack is so good, so good. A brilliant soundtrack. It's a combination of very good orchestral music, which rises and falls, building the tension and, showing Beth's calmer moments very, very well. But also, there is a fantastic compilation of mid-century music, which really fits into the tone of this series. Talking about mid-century, I also have to talk about the set pieces and the costumes. All excellent, all very good. Let's be honest here, the production value is very, very good. And, it's just props to Netflix for the money they invested in this series. It was really, really, really well done series. And basically, it's the reason why it's been such a great success. Let's be honest, everyone's talking about it right now. I just finished watching it, and I have to say I was really engrossed throughout, really impressed by the quality. Negatives, I'll be honest, there's not much to criticize here. I really can't think of anything to criticize, to be honest. If I had to say, the one big negative for me was the predictability of the last episode, although it did feel a little inevitable in a way, but still all very good. Now, Beth's relationships are hit and miss, but especially the relationship with her mother, as I said, was very good. Relationship with Benny was also quite interesting, but there were some relationships which felt a little slightly forced, not too interesting. And yeah, but they're there. Nothing that will detract from the enjoyment of this series. Definitely, definitely not. Overall, this is a must-watch for everyone. Believe me, for everyone. You really do not need to know anything about the game of chess. Basically, look at the contestants' faces, look at their body language, listen to the music, and that will tell you more than enough information about what's going on the board. Believe me, even if you don't understand that, the set design and the costumes and the music are worth the price of admission alone, which is basically nothing if you already have Netflix. And that is why I will give The Queen's Gambit a 4.5 out of 5 rating and a must-watch recommendation from myself. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that review. Let me know in the comment section below if you have watched The Queen's Gambit, and if you have, if you enjoyed it or not. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time right here on Adlib Talk.